Hey, Basket Brains, Kirby here, aka Darkwing Disc, and this is episode 19 of the KO Disc Golf Show. I'm doing it myself today. We're doing it live. Let's get into it. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me. We're doing something way different today. Ollie is in Montana. Good on him. Glad he's enjoying some of his summer vacation. He's out there with Roxy and some friends. So in the chat below, tell everybody or tell Ollie how much you miss him. I am doing this live. This is our first chance at doing an episode live. This was kind of my original idea behind doing this kind of podcast, and I am so fortunate to have Ollie as a co-host of the show. I definitely miss having him here. This is a lot more nerve-wracking to do it myself than it is having Ollie to rely on. So, like I said, this is episode 19. This is the Rattata episode. Rattata's a great normal Pokemon that you'll see in early routes. Famous players to wear the number 19: Tony Gwynn, Joe Montana, Steve Yzerman, Bob Feller, and Joey Votto. Joey Votto is kind of low-key, definitely going to get in the Hall of Fame, I think. Famous Red Sox players that I really like that wear the number 19: JBJ, Jackie Bradley Jr., Josh Beckett, Koji Yohara, Gabe Kapler, and Fred Lynn. And thank you to the sponsors of this episode, which are going to be my personal sponsors. So thank you to Emerald City Discs, which I am an owner of. Thank you to Discmania for sponsoring me this year. That's why we have a stack of discs back here that we're just kind of looking to give away to people. Thank you to Kraupa Organics. They're a big reason why I can make it out and go to Worlds next week. And thank you to Buzz's Hand Dip Dyes. He's done a bunch of dyes for me, and he does the dyes for the shop at Emerald City. So if you have a chance to check out a Buzz's Hand Dip Dye, definitely do that. If you have a chance to go to Kraupa Organics in West Seattle or their new location called Swamp Cow in Belltown, both are awesome. Matt and Linnell are great people. Like I said, Emerald City Discs in White Center down there. Please come on by and check us out. And Discmania, you know Discmania discs. They're tried and true. So usually this is the point where I'd ask Ollie how his week is. So we're gonna move on from that. My week was pretty good. I went to a baseball game on Sunday with Vanessa, who is one of the Team ECD members. So that was really great. Really appreciate getting out with her and my wife Ellie and her partner Matt. We had a really great time at the game. Mariners smoked the Mets. That was pretty fun. Yeah, I love going to the ballpark. I'm sure Ollie, you've heard Ollie and I talk about it tons of times. Besides that, today, later today, I'm going to be running a clinic out at North Bend, and I will be setting up some lines for the Mountain View Challenge. So if you're out at North Bend today and you see the lines out there, most of them are going to be for not for league or anything like that. I am really excited to set that course up. I'm going to be out there painting lines and doing some measurements. So we should send out a caddy book later this week, if not early next week, kind of thing. And yeah, I'm traveling to Worlds on Friday. So Friday night, late night, I take a red-eye flight over. I'll get there Saturday morning really early. I'm going to go and get my U-Haul van that I'm going to be staying in for the week. Yeah, kind of getting myself set up kind of in the morning to the afternoon. I might try to get like a late practice round in on Saturday, and then spend like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday really kind of cracking down. Probably playing like 2 rounds a day ideally. Probably 2 rounds of the same course. There is 2 different courses. It's Ivy Hills and New London. So New London I feel like is a course that I can go and like I think score pretty well on. It's pretty well wooded. There's a lot of like tight like wooded like tunnel shots. There's a lot of like straight to hyzers. There's a lot of like slow moving left to right shots. So yeah, thank you. Sweet, we got people in the live chat. That's awesome. I wasn't expecting any of that, so this is cool. Yeah, so yeah, really looking forward to it. I'm gonna be doing a lot of like vlogging and stuff like that while I'm down there. So I'm gonna try to record a lot of like what my experience is. I'm gonna be posting that to like my personal YouTube channel over at Darkwing Disc, and then I'll probably also be posting a bunch of stuff to like the KO channel and kind of like tagging that in. So follow along on Instagram, follow along here on YouTube, because we're gonna be doing all kinds of stuff, and I kind of wanted to show you guys what my experience is kind of out there, and what it's like to, kind of van it up, for a week and that kind of thing. So I'm really excited about that, though. My dad, those of you that don't know, I grew up in like Niagara Falls, like Western New York, kind of Buffalo area, and that's about 9 hours away from Lynchburg, Virginia. So I was talking with my dad, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be like on your side of the country, or if you're willing to take the drive down, like I'd love to have you come and caddy for me. So my dad is gonna come down for a couple of days during Worlds. He's gonna caddy for me, which is gonna be such a cool experience to have my dad there, playing for the World Championships. I think he and I are probably gonna get a hotel for like the nights that he's there, so I won't be van lifing it the entire time. But yeah, just having my dad like caddy for me, like he's never caddied any tournament for me, so to have him there for like the World Championships, like yeah, big deal. So I gotta kind of like iron out the details with him later today, but yeah, that's one that I am so pumped about. If anybody has any like suggestions of like stuff that I should do while in Virginia, if there's any like chain restaurants, like I think somebody told me that like I should go and check out like a Cracker Barrel. I've never been to any of those. But yeah, if there's any like Virginia kind of like, that area kind of stuff that you like, I really need to experience. Like I've been to a Wawa before. I think there's like Wawa in Virginia. I don't know if they're down there. I know that's more of like a Pennsylvania thing. But stuff like that, I would love to hear like the low key stuff that like the locals are like, no, like this is a staple of like me growing up. I love checking out what like the local, like, oh, there's like a special burger, there's like a, special taco from this place. Like I want to check out that stuff while I'm there, really kind of experience whatever it is that Bedford and Lynchburg, Virginia, have to offer. So yeah, if you have any suggestions, please leave it in the comments below on this video. Really appreciate it. But yeah, so other than that, my week's been pretty chill. SeaTac Open happened. I played in that. I was so wild like the whole day. I had Justin Banks from Fairway Media come and be he did the coverage for round one for me, which is awesome. I love having Banks out there. He's always been like really good vibes, and I love chatting with him. He came up on hole one all kind of like, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. He's like, I woke up like 30 minutes ago. We're like, love having you here, buddy, So it was cool having him there. I wish I could play well while he's there, though. Like I feel like I've been on 3 different rounds that he's played that I've played this year that he's covered, and all 3 of those rounds I've kind of been like, yeah, not my best. Just not the rounds that I've been overly proud of or like excited to be like, yes, I need the world to see that round. Mostly just rounds that I've kind of struggled a little bit. I've been okay. I haven't had like a blow up round on him, but just once I want him to cover a round where it's like, yes, that round I did so well, like I really did this, and I don't really feel pressure of having the cameras there, honestly, especially because it's Banks, and I'm so comfortable around him, and he's such a good guy to have around on the card. He loves disc golf, and he loves the Washington disc golf scene so much. So yeah, definitely go. I mean, if you're not following Fairway Media, like what are you doing, man? Go over and like check him out and say what's up. But yeah, I just got way too many bogeys, especially for it being SeaTac and that being like a course that I'm so comfortable with playing and I play all the time. I was just getting so many of them. I think I had like 6 bogeys and like 2 double bogeys on the day, and I really pride myself on being like a person who doesn't bogey too much throughout the round and that kind of thing. So definitely something I got to kind of work on going forward, because I got frustrated and it definitely got the better of me, which is not something that can happen. So we're going to give a quick shout out to the winners of the SeaTac Open. Shout out to the Tankley brothers, Thaddeus and Tim, coming in 1-2. That was really awesome. I tied for 3rd with John Babb. Winner of MP40 with Ming, no surprise. Jedi Domini came out, really cool seeing him. He came in 2nd place. Elizabeth DeVries won FP40. Steve Bell won MP60. Kyle Miller won MA1. Gabby Salazar won FA1. Adam Croft won MA40. Jennifer Awesome Krasbinski won FA40. She runs a podcast called the Intentional Disc Golfer Podcast, her and her husband. So if you have the chance, go check them out as well. They're really great. I know they get some like bigger names to do interviews with them. Tim Roher won MA50. Rowdy Howell won MA2. Shout out to Rowdy. I did a lesson with him just this past week at SeaTac, and he's a good thrower of the disc. So I was really excited to see him win. Shout out Corey Parker, ECD or Box Squad teammate Corey Parker for getting second place there. MA3 was Douglas Liju. And MA4 was Box Squad member Dylan Aquino, and Billy Smith, who is a fan of the show, came in second place. So shout out to them. That's awesome. And then also what happened here in Washington was Throwchella. That was up at Kayak. We're going to run through the winners of that real quick. I really don't have too many details about that. I wasn't there. I was playing SeaTac. So winners of Throwchella, Isaac Strom won MPO uncontested. Rob Duffy won MP40 uncontested. Ethan Brooks won MA1. Neil Vickers won MA40. My MA60 GOAT, Chuck Knudsen, won MA60. No surprise, Chuck's the man. MA2, Thomas Nelson, we had the winner there. Winner of FA2, Caroline Edwards. Winner of MA3, Xavier Pulliam. And winner of MA4 was Keegan Taggart. So shout out to all those guys. Awesome. Anytime you win a tournament, always feels good. It is going to be a relatively slow weekend for disc golf here in the Washington area. It looked like really the only thing that was going on was like the 360 Open, which is a B tier over in like the Bremerton area. They have a pretty small MPO field. They do have a couple of FPO players playing as well, which is really awesome. But yeah, it's kind of the typical guys you would expect to see, or typical people you would expect to see like out from that area. So that's what's going on next weekend. The weekend after that is Worlds. Like I said, I'll be down there. I'm really excited to play in that. I am a little disappointed that I won't be able to play in the Ralph Williamson Memorial. I have won that the last 2 years, so I was kind of excited to go out and try for the three-peat. But when the schedule came out and I kind of saw the weekend it was there, and it's just like, yeah, I was committing to Worlds early on this season, and I was committing to that being part of my season, so everything else was kind of secondary to it. And like I said, I'm a little disappointed, but at the same time, it's totally fine. I'm just pumped to get out and play Worlds and kind of get out there and compete. So yeah, but Ralph Williamson Memorial, from what I've heard, people are really excited to get out there and play. People are kind of starting to get out and kind of see like what's going on with the course and kind of look at the layout and that kind of thing. So it's going to be a relatively quick episode this week now that I'm by myself, and I think it's kind of best that way. Let us know below, if you like this format, thank you. Appreciate you guys rooting for me. Thank you so much. Yeah, let us know in the chat, in the comments below, like if you like this, like if Ollie and I are on vacation and one of us is going to take over and go live, if you like this kind of thing, let us know. Or, maybe in the future, this is like what the show looks like, where Ollie and I are just live, doing this here and kind of communicate with the chat and whatnot. So, yeah, so moving right along, we are going to get into real quick. I want to talk about the Mountain View Championship layout and kind of do like a quick little preview of that. Mountain View Championship is going to be the weekend after Ralph Williamson. It's going to be the weekend after Worlds. So, we're going to be running that out at North Bend, and I will be doing an alternate layout that is like a little harder than the normal layout. If you played the Legend of the Log Lady tournament, you should be familiar with 90% of these shots and of these holes. I did kind of tweak a few of them. I had to make some mandos to kind of protect some fairways and that kind of thing. We will be sending out like a caddy book and a map that's pretty extensive and has a lot of details on it. We will be sending that out, like I said, later this week, if not kind of early next week and that kind of thing. I'm going to go out there today and do distances and measurements and that kind of thing. But as a quick kind of just like rundown of the layout and kind of what I have there and like what's going on, instead of starting kind of on hole 1 or hole 10 over there, you're going to start on hole 17. And hole 17's tee pad's going to be moved a little like back and a little left. There will be a Mando on there just to kind of protect the house, because I don't want people trying to throw kind of like inside and maybe hitting the house there. So all the Mandos that were made on the course are all to protect houses. They're all to protect other fairways and like that kind of stuff. You know, original tee pad, or 18, the original tee pad to like the original basket. I loved adding that little hazard to the divot on the left there, kind of deep. I think I was the only one in MPO who actually fell in there, which, you know, kind of worked it against myself. But I just think that's a little something to think about in the fairway, and it does make that shot just like a little touchy, like for, like I said, those MA1, MA2, MPO players who are like, you know, throwing the disc real far. They're probably, you know, going to be flirting with that a little bit. Even some of our FPO players throw far enough where that is, you know, kind of right on like where their aiming point kind of thing. But yeah, like I said, a lot of the shots are going to be the same. A couple of notable things that have changed. There was an area on hole 13's fairway going to hole 16's basket, and people were kind of throwing like left, like forehand kind of around, and then having like a little chip up shot to the basket. I am going to make a Mando right, so you do have to throw over the water and do that kind of thing. That hole is much more challenging when you have to push the water. So that's the idea there, is you can either throw one shot to try to make it over, which is only like, I think it's like 350, 360, but it is a little uphill, and it is a tight gap that you really have to like push through really nicely. Or you have to just kind of throw something up next to the tree and then kind of like pitch over the water there too as well. So, and then the other one that I changed, which I think a lot of people were expecting, was hole 11's tee pad to hole 12's basket. There is going to be a Mando left side of like one of the trees on the right. People were throwing just like big hyzers over the water, and my thought process there is that if I'm going to push people to throw over the water on the hole or two holes before that, I don't want people throwing at them. So I don't want people kind of going like this back and forth over the water, kind of like at each other. So I want to make that to where you have to kind of throw up through like original 11's fairway, and then kind of like bend that corner and then go up to 12's basket. And there will be an OB line on the left, so you can't just throw a hyzer that kind of like skips to oblivion and then kind of make like another like hyzer upshot. Like I want to make that hole like pretty challenging and a legitimate par 4 for it not being like super long necessarily. That log shot I'm going to change. We moved it back and like a little deeper, and there's going to be a Mando there, so people aren't throwing at like you know, the one tee pad that's over there or like the house, like that kind of thing. I just want people throwing like hyzers at it, like straight hyzers at it, not these like turnovers that might stall out kind of thing. So like I said, all the Mandos and all the stuff that we changed was all like for the sake of keeping people safe or protecting the house or protecting another fairway. And I actually have all of that explained on the caddy book that we're going to send out to people. So I want to be as, you know, open. I want to communicate as much as possible, over communicate to people about this layout, so everybody kind of knows exactly what's going on. That's really it for like big notable changes. Some of the holes on the backside are going to change too, kind of like over in that area of the fairway that's not used, kind of like over past like hole 4 and that kind of thing in that area. I did have to change a couple of those because they're starting to park cars more in that area. So that one hole that we like to use going right through to hole 7's basket, that's going to change. It's probably just going to be more of like a straighter shot from the field, which is a little easier, totally fine. Honestly, it's probably going to be a lot more aceable, which is cool for like most divisions. So that'll be a nice one. Our ace pot's like pretty fat, so maybe somebody can cash out on that one. That'll be really cool. And another notable change is that we're going to be finishing on hole 2. I think hole 2 is such an epic hole for North Bend, and it's such a it's like the iconic hole of that course, that I think it's going to be really, really cool to have the final putt, you know, right there on hole 2. And, you know, there could be some big like swings, you know, and changes on hole 2. So it could be really fun. All right. I also want to give a quick shout out to Toby. He was the winner of this past week's Instagram giveaway. If you're not following us on the KO show or KO Disc Golf show on Instagram, we do a ton of giveaways, or we're going to start doing a ton of giveaways there. We've been doing giveaways on this channel as well. So I have a stack of Discmania discs back here that we're kind of just looking to hand out. But yeah, so shout out to Toby. He won a Showstopper 1 and a Showstopper 2 from Ollie and myself. I think I saw him comment on the Instagram post earlier. You know, when Ollie gets back from Montana, he will get those to you, no problem. So congratulations to him. No draft this week, you know, because like I said, Ollie's not here, and it's weird to just draft a bunch of things by myself kind of deal. I would love to hear some suggestions on what you think we should draft in the future. We're going to continue with the letter draft, of course. You know, we want to go through the entire alphabet eventually, you know, but if you have any other kind of like weird things that you think would be fun for us to kind of draft, let us know. And besides that, I think that's all I got for this week. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is really cool. There's people in the chat, people commenting in that, people watching live the whole time pretty much. So thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. Like I said, this is definitely something new that we were just kind of trying for the first time and kind of seeing like, you know, what it did and where it brought us. So I think as Ollie says, aim high, shoot low. Oh, I got to do the quote. I got a good quote this week. All right. This quote is from one of my personal favorite wrestlers, and that is Stone Cold Steve Austin. You sit there and you thump your Bible and say your prayers. It didn't get you anywhere. Talk about your songs. Talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass. Aim high, shoot low. See you next time, everyone. Thank you so much.